For 60 years, people all over Middle Tennessee have returned to Parks Motor Sales again and again because they get the best vehicles and best service possible. Go to parksmotorsales.com for options. New Buicks, GM certified pre-owned vehicles, financing, GM certified technicians, parts, tires, and more. Then stop by 919 Nashville Highway. Test drive a Buick and see why the Buick Encore and the Buick Enclave are among America's most reliable vehicles. Experience the new Buick at Parks Motor Sales.
This is Del Kennedy, Front Porch Radio. I just love Holland's Pharmacy on Hatcher Lane. When I come in, they know my name, the service is friendly, and the price is competitive. Lately, I've had mobility issues and have been using a cane. They have a new drive-in window. Help for people like me to do business at Holland's Pharmacy. 931-388-4233. 931-388-4233.
Hello, this is Terry from Tillis Jewelry in Columbia Square. When you choose a natural diamond, you're choosing more than beauty. You're choosing a promise, a memory, a forever kind of love. Each natural diamond tells a story, a devotion, and a bond that grows stronger every day. It's not just a stone, it's your story captured forever. Come find the one that is waiting for you. Natural diamonds made by nature, giving with love. Stop by and see our wonderful collection at Tillis Jewelry.
What's your favorite radio station?
101.7 WKOM.
Oh!
Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you to keep this fight clean at all times, and what I say you must obey.
Live from the WKOM studio in downtown Columbia, it's time to wake up and get woke. It's Three Dudes with a View.
Let's get it all!
All right, good morning, Southern Middle Tennessee. My name is Del Kennedy. I'm dude number 3. Folks, it's going to be a scorcher today. I mean, hotter than the 4th of July. They say that for a reason, and that's what the heck it's going to be. 100 degrees and, whatever. Get something cool to drink and stay in the air. At least as a young man, what I used to always do is just get in the water somewhere. Go to the river, go to the pool, whatever.
River to the sea.
Yep. All right. Native son, favorite son of Columbia, 1977 graduate of Columbia Central High School. Searcher for the tomb of the unknown time capsule at Whitthorne Junior High, 1976. Ron Hart.
We're Indiana Jonesing for that capsule.
Yep. Ron Hart, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
Indiana
Dude number
Jonesing
1.
for that capsule.
Mr. Jim York. Good morning, Mr. York.
Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. York. Son of Ron Hart, Jeb Hart. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning, y'all.
Go ahead, Mr. York.
I was going to say maybe they're trying to wipe that class out of the existence capsule, Ron.
Maybe so. I'm scared what's in there. I don't know what I was doing then.
And yet, folks, just to recap the conversation, they Ron graduated from Central High School in 1977, but he also attended Whitthorne. And at some point, of course, Whitthorne moved from downtown Columbia on 8th Street out to where it is presently today, and that was in 75, 76, somewhere in there. And Ron and his classmates did a time capsule to be placed in the old Whitthorne before the move.
No, the new one, I think. I think it was new. It was Cornerstone. So Cornerstone's laid when the building's built, and the building Whitthorne was built in 76. I think it's in the new building.
But we did find out yesterday from our guest who came in that there was also one buried at the old school.
Okay, so
you said it was buried just in some hypothetical space, which was an odd thing. This is not related to any of this, but the Cornerstone is supposed to be the most important stone, and we put a time capsule in that we're inevitably going to remove. Yeah. Is it that structurally important?
No, sure, we thought that through.
Yeah, I think they'll wait. Jeb, I think they make them where you can take them out.
Ceremonial.
Yeah. But okay. At any rate, though, the one that seems to be lost is the one that was placed in the old Whitthorne on 8th Street, and a classmate of Ron's, what's his name, Clayton? I can't remember.
Gilbert London.
Gilbert London came in yesterday, and he says it's buried, and he knows where, 8 or 10 feet underground over there off 8th Street, where, of course, the school's torn down now. I never heard of a time capsule for a school being buried underground 8 or 10 feet.
That's deep.
10 feet seems wildly excessive.
Well, even if it's 4 feet, that's pretty doggone deep.
Did you put uranium in there, Ronnie?
Yeah.
No, you grew up in Buckhead. This is country people. They don't play.
I went to school in College Park. They don't play neither.
At a very high-end prep school.
He claims he knows where X is and the spot, and but it's going to take a backhoe to get out there and find it.
I'm sure we got some folks around here that could probably make that happen.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll get all sorts of volunteers and classmates of Ron and
those
Golden,
living.
Mr.
Many
Golden.
perished in the jailhouse fire. Many of them were locked up that night. An inordinate number of our class perished in the jailhouse fire.
Well, mine too, Ron. You were a little behind me, but
my classmates were way ahead on the criminal scene.
Well, my classmates at McDowell did not do too well
Didn't come out very well.
Yeah. And Tom Patton always, you gotta love him. He always had a great bit. Of course, at McDowell, and these, of course, when I went there, it was all white, and but you'd be in 6th grade. I mean, like 5th or even 4th grade, and you'd have. I mean, back then they held people back.
Oh yeah.
And
got left. They used to say, "Hey, he got left."
Yeah, and so I'd have in 5th grade, I'd have guys who shaved, and
on the football team, we had Greg Webb. He was super smart, but really ADD. Teachers didn't like him, and they held him back twice. So we're 14. He's 16. Got a car. Imagine how popular he was.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, so it was a different world, and. So Tom had he had this little bit he did. He knew, everybody and how many times they had been held back and all that, and then everybody in McDowell with us who had perished in the jail fire, and I guess when we were young, it seemed sort of amusing. It's not amusing to hear about when anybody dies. And particularly those who die.
Yeah, for those new to Columbia, was it mid-70s, or the jailhouse fire that killed close to 50 people? Is that what it was? Big number.
Yeah, and it wasn't a fire. It was and I remember it. I used to, working summers for the Herald as a reporter, used to go over there all the time. They had a padded cell. Literally, it had a black sort of vinyl, all with, deep padding all around the cell and the floor and everywhere. And, they would put inmates in there for their safety. And somehow this guy got in there and set the thing on fire.
It was a cigarette.
Yeah. And it produced these, of course, they got sued, for zillions. It produced the manufacturer of the padding. But when it burned, it produced this lethal smoke, toxic smoke, which was instantly picked up by all the heat and air there in the jail, circulated throughout the place. And so they died of inhaling this toxic smoke fumes from the burning pads in the padded cell.
We
was it about the jailer couldn't find the key or something, Del?
I think that was involved too, Miss York. Yeah. I mean,
but he couldn't find the key to open up anything, and that polyethylene poison in the air killed most of those folks.
Yeah, but Miss York, at least my understanding was that it happened so fast there wasn't much could be done,
Tom Price actually just did an episode of this recently that aired on the station.
Yeah, I heard. It's great. Great show.
I tell you, Del, I had no idea. That disaster, which killed a lot of visitors at the jail, was the second worst jail fire in U.S. history, and still is.
Yeah, and it really wasn't a fire. I mean, the padding in that cell burned, but the rest of the jail.
So burning it turned it into just
toxic
like mustard gas.
Yeah.
Toxic fumes.
I mean, the
people.
fire was
anywhere.
limited to the padded cell. It wasn't like the whole place went up in flames. It was concrete block. That didn't happen.
Some of those people were in there just for like DUI for the night, or just thrown in there for domestic. It's one of the 24-hour type of cool down things. And they had padded cells, but people get thrown in there, they're crazy, and they beat themselves up or whatever. it was like I mean, I don't know what percent was. Some of them were in there for DUI or something pretty minor.
Ron, I'd say 85 to 90% were in there for a misdemeanor of some type.
Right.
Public drunk, DUI, assault, that kind of thing. I mean, so that very few, actual
hardened criminals.
Yeah, murderers, robbers, that kind of thing. Not many at all, and that's what the function of a county jail is. The hardcore prisoners with multi-year prison sentences, they go on to the Tennessee Department of Corrections. I mean, it was awful. It was a different time, a different era. I remember my cousin David Logston was, I don't know if he was a writer, he may have been editor of the Herald at the time, and he was a character to say the least. And he wrote a op-ed or something saying that, we ought to, every time a jail catches on fire, we ought to parachute other ne'er-do-wells into it, which, got a lot of reaction. But
I haven't wished any of y'all a happy Bobby Bonita Day.
Well, you got to tell us who Bobby Bonita is first.
Dale, this is incredible. Whoever his agent is ought to have some type of monument built.
So again, for all of those who observe Bobby Bonita Day, if you don't know what it means, is it's one of the greatest financial finesse jobs in sports history. So it was back in, I believe, 2000. The New York Mets, who, as we are all very well aware, are just run like a Swiss watch. They owed Bobby Bonita about just shy of $6 million, I believe. But instead of paying them that, because they were kind of close to the cap number, they said, all right, would you be cool to defer this and we'll pay you later? And he was like, sure, but add on a bit of interest. So now, every single July 1st, the Mets have to send Bobby Bonita a check for $1.2 million.
Bobby gets the last laugh. Yeah.
Up until retired. 2035.
Bobby's been retired for quite a while now.
Good work if you can get it. And folks, I do not want to mitigate the Maury County Jail. It was a terrible tragedy. And as Ron, I think, points out, visitors and folks who had, basically committed minor, almost petty crimes were in there. And, even the convicted hardcore felons certainly, didn't deserve to die. And it was a tragedy. And the memorial service lately was, I wasn't there, but I understand it was a wonderful service, and it is something to be remembered as, just a terrible tragedy. Yeah.
You must have had a lot of drinkers up here, because when I moved up here, it was a dry county. But on the weekend, they had over 100 and some people they put in the armory for the weekend, and they had 5 women involved in DWIs and stuff.
Dry county ain't never stopped anybody, and a gun-free zone ain't never stopped anybody either.
So you're saying, a gun-free zone doesn't stop people, or no alcohol doesn't stop people, or the war on drugs didn't work. The war on drugs didn't work.
Back in the late,
drugs,
just say no.
Scoreboard. I haven't checked the scoreboard recently.
Just say no, Ron.
Yeah, back in the late 70s, we didn't have any gun-free zones. We had gun carry zones. But, just perspective, though, because our jail back then had, I think, a capacity of 99, and our jail today is 400 plus. So,
growing.
Times have changed, yeah. All right, let's take a break and come back.
We are going to break. This is the greatest radio station, the most highly respected radio station in southern Middle Tennessee. We love it. 3 Dudes with a View, and we'll be right back.
You're not just a homeowner, you're also an ice maker that didn't read the job description owner. Fortunately, you've got heating and cooling built and tested to keep going. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local independent American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Maury County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
Hey, this is Seth Moss at Tennessee Valley Equipment, a premier FAE PrimeTech, Bandit, and Surex dealer. We are your dealer for all of your land clearing and forestry mulching needs. We sell equipment, provide repair service and parts along with a rental fleet of mulching equipment. We also offer mulching teeth, blades, and sharpening. Our number one priority is getting you up and running as quickly and affordable as possible. Tennessee Valley is located at 300 Santa Fe Pike in wonderful Columbia, Tennessee. Stop by or give us a call today at 931-981-9812.
Hi, I'm Morgan Luck, a local licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Columbia, Tennessee. Turning 65 and choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-586-9906 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually by phone or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Service and product availability may vary by state. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Front Porch Radio is Southern Middle Tennessee's home for the best in news, talk, and sports. Missed out on any favorite Front Porch programs? Check us out online at frontporchradiotn.com to download episodes of your favorite podcast. Listen live or listen online. Search for it on your favorite podcast app: iTunes, Spotify, Google, and Amazon Alexa. Join us on the porch, frontporchradiotn.com.
Maury County has had enough career politicians and enough status quo. I'm Gabe Howard, a Republican, conservative, Marine Corps veteran, small business owner, husband, father, and county commissioner. I'm not part of the political establishment. I'm a businessman and public servant who's fought for lower taxes, government transparency, smarter growth, and long-term planning. This campaign is about real leadership, not politics as usual. Vote Gabe Howard for Maury County Mayor. Paid for by Gabe Howard for Maury County Mayor, Stephen Brown, Treasurer.
Time for the 22nd Annual Maury County Sheriff's Rodeo, July 10th and 11th. Gates open at 5, rodeo at 8. As always, kids 11 and under get in free. We have free pony rides, petting zoo, face painting, and balloons, all in our spectacular kids zone. We have cowboys and cowgirls from all over the United States. Pre-sale tickets are $15 and can be purchased at Maury United Co-op for $20 at the gate. Brought to you by Harness LLC, where we build people and move dirt.
To every referee, umpire, and judge in high school sports, we want to say, we see you.
We see everything you do for us that goes unnoticed.
We see the positive role models that you are.
We see the way you get unfairly criticized just for doing your job.
The truth is, we couldn't play without you.
So thank you for investing your time in us.
Thank you for protecting the integrity of the game, no matter what.
We hope you always know how much we appreciate you.
Because without you, this is just recess. It's not really a game.
Thank you for always making it possible for us to play the sports we love.
Want to serve the students in your community? Sign up to become an official in Tennessee at highschoolofficials.com.
Hi, Mayor Sheila Butt. What have I done? I've brought millions of dollars back to Maury County for our parks and recreation. I have worked to opt our county into the County Powers Act, bringing 3 times the development fees to help pay for growth in Maury County. I have also passed the Jackson Law, protecting the Duck River from future landfills. Now I'm asking for your vote to continue keeping Maury County the best place to live, work, and raise our families in Tennessee.
This ad is paid for by the committee to elect Sheila Butt.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Tennessee.
This message presented by the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
This is Mark Curry at the Trailer Store. We are a local, family-owned business. Every day, I work with my wife, Susie, my mother, Becky, and my son, Justin. We offer a full line of lawnmower trailers, utility trailers, stock trailers, and a full line of trailer parts. We also offer service. Come see us at 1021 New Lewisburg Highway. Call us at 931-381-2795. That's 931-381-2795.
This is Debbie Matthews with the National Realty Group, and if you've been paying attention, you know the housing market has been tough, but rates are beginning to thaw. So if you're thinking about selling, the time to jump in is getting better every day. But if you're thinking about buying, and those interest rates are still a little bit too high, a good agent knows how to negotiate interest rate buydowns, and I'm a good agent. So call me, Debbie Matthews with National Realty Group, 615-476-3224.
This is Barry Duke, and you're listening to 101.7 WKOM Columbia.
Hello, my name is Zach Maddox. I'm a proud third-generation owner-operator of Columbia Paint and Wallcover, founded by my grandfather, Ralph Maddox, in 1946. We offer a variety of paint and wallcovering products, but our passion is customer service. We can offer many personalized services and can come out to your house or business if needed. Come visit us at our Columbia location or our new Spring Hill location behind Church of the City, or visit us online at paintcolumbia.com.
Favorite son of Columbia, Ron Hart.
Good morning.
All right. And dude number one, Mr. Jim York. Good morning.
Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody.
And, folks, I was telling, I was at a breakfast this morning down at the corner market. Good breakfast at the corner market. And Monty Sneed, Caledonian Financial, who's one of our advertisers, had gotten his friends and customers together for breakfast at the Corner Cafe, and it was a great crowd, great to see people, great breakfast, just a very pleasant good morning breakfast had by all. But, Miss York, everywhere I go, people ask about you, and so I always tell them your story. Grew up in Louisiana in the segregated South, went to school in segregated schools, then served your country in the Navy during the Vietnam War, came back and graduated from Grambling College, and a historically black college in Louisiana. Had a very successful career for 30, 40 years with AT&T. And then always, folks, Mr. York has been involved in giving back to his community, whether it's serving on the school board, serving on the election commission, mentoring youth, just whatever. That's what he does. And so, I call him dude number one because, well, he's 10 years older, but watch it. Yeah. But, because of his service, because of the distinguished gentleman that he is, he deserves our respect. And so I call him dude number one. I call him Mr. York, and we agree on very little, but he certainly has my respect. And he comes by.
How much I'm going to have to pay you for this build-up, Dale?
Well, I think it's important. Miss York, I think probably that in this community you do have a large following, but you've also got a large number of people who
some haters too out there.
Yeah, they vehemently disagree with you, and I think it's important for them to know that that you've served, you've been a part of this community, and just like me. We may disagree with you all the time, but you certainly deserve our respect and appreciation for the service you've been to this country and this community. So I just like to put that out there.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the tips.
Yeah, well, it's all true.
We disagree because we looking like we're going down two sides of the road, different sides.
We both come by it honestly, and but. I was talking to my friend from Eugene the other day. Of course, you can't be, from Eugene without being sort of, Oregon, without having sort of a liberal perspective. But, the mainstream these days is what Ron is, libertarian. Clayton's over here shaking his head. Clayton Harris is our producer today, and he's formerly dude number two, but Ron and maybe Ron calls himself a libertarian. Maybe I ought to start doing it. Every friend I have is socially liberal and fiscally conservative.
It's libertarian.
Libertarians. That is the mainstream these days.
Most people are. They just don't realize.
Yeah, and they can be Democrats, Republicans, or they can be like Ron and just call themselves libertarians, and they may gravitate to either party. Ron gravitates to the Republican side, but they socially liberal, fiscally conservative. They could be found in either party, but
it's kind of funny that the Republicans have a bigger tent. They seem like they're more accepting of different views. Democrats, you got to really believe in Pelosi, Schumer's dogma. You got to believe in transgender. Yeah, you do. Transgender, like this. This case before the Supreme Court. I don't care what transgender people do. I just don't want them. Us paying for their surgeries, right? Yeah. So the female transgender people lost the Supreme Court case the other day. It was kind of a kick in the balls to them.
And folks, Mr. York's going to deny it, but I think he's, socially liberal, fiscally conservative. I think he's got a little libertarianism going in him as well,
Well, libertarianism is that's a skewed term for being a closet right-winger.
Mr. York, I just don't think so.
Skewed definition or a lack of understanding.
But being a libertarian, I don't see the difference between people who are on the right and people who are libertarian.
You want to hear the difference?
Because they're fiscal. You can say all you want, but your actions, the actions
factual.
Of people,
I know.
speak more than what they say.
I know lots of people who are libertarians and vote Democrat, including my friend from Eugene, Oregon.
Ronnie's definition of it is he wants, gay married couples to protect their weed plants with guns.
Yeah. Anybody there, minimal government, minimal. Look here with the 250th anniversary of our country. That we're all very minimal governments, right? Minimal, and Democrats are maximum government. We want to tell you what to do. We want to, There's Taylor Swift's wedding is in New York City at Madison Square Garden, and Madame is going to take about half the wedding gifts.
So tell me what's
people because you think you're smarter, you think you know how to run a central government, and you don't. You have histories of failure. And we think minimal government. Well, I'm pro gay marriage before Clinton was, before Obama was, against Iraq, Afghanistan wars, and for gay marriage. So that if you want to talk about three major things, Mr. York,
and I'm ditto with Ron on all that.
Do we have minimal government right now in the status of the administration?
As best we can. He tried to doge it, but who stopped it, Mr. York? The Democrats.
But there's also
there's no minimum government that exists right now. Everything's coming out the administration. Doge was a fake. Doge was a fake.
Okay, you say that's what you say. You dismiss
they
things.
laid off a lot of people, and then they hired many of them back.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
But back to the point, though, Ms. York, I know lots of people who are socially liberal and fiscally conservative who feel right at home in the Democratic Party, and they're there.
Well, when you say fiscally conservative, what do you mean? Are you killing programs that help the American people? Is that fiscally conservative? Or are you creating work and jobs and opportunity for people?
Right. That's what the capitalist system does. That's what the private market does, Mr. York.
Yeah, what systems? What programs and what?
Yeah, name these wonderful programs that are helping people.
SNAP.
SNAP. Okay, we'll feed people.
Medicaid.
How much has any of that
all
been
still
cut,
around?
There's a lot of people in this country, Ron, that you don't seem to understand. I wish you would go work.
You would
go work at or go work at a food bank.
I'm very familiar with these food banks.
Talk to people. I'm not talking about you giving.
I go to the food banks. I'm on one of the board. I know what goes on. Don't preach to me about what goes on.
Go and see how those people react to the situation right now.
One at a time.
Now, go see how people react to the situation of life.
You don't give a damn thing to them. You just talk about.
You don't know what I give. You don't know what I give.
You don't give anything. You just told the government's supposed to do everything.
I didn't say nothing like the government's supposed to do everything, but there are people who are not fortunate.
Democrat,
who are not fortunate and needs the help. That's why we have the United States of America to help states. Just like we do states, we have to help the people.
Well,
your version.
Hang on. Let's just Miss York, you got to admit that there are people who describe themselves as fiscally conservative in both parties who have different degrees of fiscal conservatism. Some of them, and this applies to both parties, some of them are extremely conservative when it comes to fiscal conservancy, and those who call themselves fiscal conservative, there's a whole spectrum of them. There may be some that are in favor of some programs that call themselves fiscal conservatives, and those who just say no programs, and you can find those in either party.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with being fiscally conservative, but when we give money to corporations and don't have a problem with it, and then when people that really need some help, they're cutting it. Like Tennessee gave $1 billion to Ford. Now Ford's a major corporation.
Think about this,
and then they're not helping people who got the SNAP benefits taken out.
GM right there in Columbia, they gave money to them a long time ago. So you're against that?
Yeah, I'm against that. When they just give money,
take all those jobs that GM plan away from Columbia.
They're not taking those jobs.
GM
could have very well put that plant here without
and by
all
the way,
the tax
they don't
breaks.
give them money. They just
you don't know that.
The question is not whether they could have. The question is, would they have placed it there had they not had the tax incentives to do so? People will always gravitate towards the most conducive environment to do something.
Oh, they go shopping for the best offer. With each other. The best state gets them.
They go shopping for the country bumpkins that gives them the breaks that they want. That's what they did.
You want to give them the breaks they want.
Your favorite program is, let me say one thing real quick. This has some facts here. Your favorite program is SNAP, which we agree on, is $100 billion a year. $100 billion a year, less than 1% of the budget. We all agree on that. It's the rest we worry about. I agree with SNAP.
What's
I think
the
we all agree
rest?
with
What's the rest?
$100 billion a year.
What other program you disagree that help people? What other program you disagree that help people?
No. I like Obamacare, where people are cheating it like crazy. A hospice, all these.
Obamacare. Well, that's the corporations. That's the program is a solid program if it's run right.
It's a program that's set up because the corporations are working within a structure that was governmentally set up. So putting it off and saying like, oh, why would a government try to find? Why would a company try a loophole? Of course they would. That's exactly how they function.
So y'all all right?
Let somebody finish, Mr. York. Can you please let somebody finish?
For the SNAP thing, you're saying that they cut funding from it. No, people were off of it because they had requirements that are part of it. You say the government's supposed to help them. It should be an incentivized. It should not be a permanent state of existence to be on SNAP unless you are, disabled, cannot work, cannot do these things. There should be caveats, which were still there. It was just saying you need.
How many people you think in America are on SNAP right now? Guess, real quick.
I don't know.
Of course you don't know. You don't know any facts. 42 million seems like a lot. 42 million seems like a lot. You think
that's not a lot? That's not a lot of people.
And
42 million out of 320 million.
What I'm against,
all right.
Hang on. Let me talk. I'm generally in favor of helping folks out. But what I don't like is money going out the back door in suitcases like in Minnesota, or me dropping that by that convenience store over near Shelbyville where they were accepting SNAP benefits for people to buy Bitcoin.
And if you think that giving somebody
then where is the fraud and abuse group help? Where's the fraud and abuse?
It's not fraud and abuse to buy Bitcoin with SNAP benefits?
I say, where is the fraud and abuse team that Trump's supposed to be setting up?
Well, y'all shut down.
That's what they ought to be shutting down instead of pulling people off the street.
You shut down those.
Do you think that it's actually helpful to just give a check forever instead of incentivizing people?
They've got a sign out at AutoZone that says we accept SNAP benefits here, or ECB.
Yeah, if they're violating the guidelines, these business people shouldn't participate.
Safety nets become a safety hammock for certain folks.
You open up the vault door, they're going
in. We are going to break at WKOM. This is the greatest radio station, the most highly respected radio station in southern Middle Tennessee. We love it.
Hi, I'm Matt Perales, manager of Murray County Equipment. We help you with all your agriculture and construction equipment needs. We carry a full line of New Holland tractors from compacts to high horsepower. We have a full line of Gravely mowing equipment. We also have New Holland construction equipment, attachments, and accessories for your tractors and a complete parts department. We are locally owned and operated. Come see us at 1075 North James Campbell Boulevard or learn about us on Facebook or contact us at 931-490-8183.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
A1 Tree Removal is there for the community in times of need. If you have fallen trees or broken branches and limbs that you need removed, contact A1 Tree Removal. Licensed and insured, A1 Tree Removal is a family-owned business that is locally owned and operated. If you have trees down and need help today, call or text Luke at 931-359-3113. That's 931-359-3113. Give A1 Tree Removal a call or check them out on Facebook today for all of your tree servicing needs.
The generations that have paved the way for us deserve respect, integrity, and compassion. This is Kelly Dobson, owner of Caring Hearts Home Healthcare. My grandmother and mother started this business in 2005, and I was honored to take over in 2012. Licensed and insured, we help our aging community stay in the comfort of their own homes. Online at CaringHeartsHomeHealthCareLLC.com, by phone 931-381-5470, or in person at 1121 Trotwood Avenue here in Columbia. That's Caring Hearts Home Healthcare.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC. Parks Motor Sales was founded by my granddad, Bobby Parks, and my great-granddad, Julian Mays, in 1958. We've been family-owned the whole time, and being family-owned, locally owned, means you get to get your next vehicle or your existing vehicle serviced by the same people who stand in the grocery line with you, drop their kids off at the same school you do, and smile and are happy to see you when they do. So come see us at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee on 919 Nashville Highway or parksmotorsales.com.
Farmer Johnny here, Taylor Family Farm. I want to give y'all a little look-see. We raise 100% non-GMO, grass-fed beef, pasture chicken, and pork on our family farm. Everything that we grow is raised with love and care to ensure the highest quality and nutrition for our family and customers. You can shop online at TaylorFamilyFarmTN.com or visit our farm store in person at Etheridge, Tennessee at 301 Dave Reisner Road. That's TaylorFamilyFarmTN.com for more information.
Hello. I'm United States Senator Bill Hagerty, and this year, America celebrates 250 years of freedom, leadership, and excellence. Right here in Tennessee, we know that liberty is something we protect. It's something we defend, and it's something that we want to pass on to the next generation. As we mark this milestone, let's thank God for this nation, honor those who made it possible, and recommit to the values that make America exceptional. May God bless Tennessee, and God bless the United States of America.
This is Delp Kennedy, Front Porch Radio. Holland's Pharmacy on Hatcher Lane never ceases to amaze me. The other day I had a prescription to pick up. I went up to the drive-in window. The girl gave me a big smile and turned around and gave me my prescription without even having to ask my name. Then she noticed my lab puppy Jack in the back seat. She put a dog treat in the door. Jack is going to be a permanent customer of Holland's Pharmacy. Holland's Pharmacy, where they know my name, the service is friendly, prices are competitive, 931-388-4233.
You're not just a homeowner, you're also an ice maker that didn't read the job description owner. Fortunately, you've got heating and cooling built and tested to keep going. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local independent American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
And usually it's too late when you realize what you had. So hold on.
All right, folks, welcome back. 3 News Review. My name is Delp Kennedy. I'm number 3. Dude number 2, native son, favorite son of Columbia. Libertarian, but one of the, Republican type libertarians. But like I said, Plenty of libertarians in both parties. But Ron Hart, good morning.
Morning.
Morning. And son of Ron Hart, Jeb Hart, good morning.
Good morning. I also have a show that comes on after this.
Tell us about it, Jeb. Let's do a little plug for it here.
Wow. I mean, show we've been doing that's been streaming intermittently, been live for those of y'all who popped on and were confused by it. That was me. And comes on after this. It's a bit of a, kind of a longer, deeper dive into a lot of the topics that we talk about in kind of quick segments here. And if you don't want to change the radio station, stick around here, and I'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great show, folks. And, as he says, sort of takes a deeper dive into issues of the day. And it's a good listen. All right. I've gotten a text from somebody about the buried time capsule over at Whitthorne. He says that the ground can be scanned with he says LIDAR.
LIDAR.
What is that?
It's basically ground
Like an
penetrating
X-ray.
radar.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody got a LIDAR machine out there?
I don't have mine on me right now.
I had one on my destroyer. I had a 6 and a 2.
Now that you bring it up, I forgot where I left mine. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, there's got to be something like those little, like when you're on the beach with those little metal detectors. Did that work? That wouldn't be deep enough.
I mean, you had to have a pretty big one to get 10 feet down when they buried the uranium that you put in a time capsule, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know what's in there. It could have been some of the Agent Orange.
It was around the right time.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of it came back from Vietnam. It was a big supply. I got a real good deal on it.
This is another era, but Daddy was in the Army in the Second World War, of course. And, I mean, he actually came back with – he used to talk about it. I think they did a little fishing down the Duck River. But he came back with high explosives,
He did.
Of course, Daddy's dead, and the statute of limitations has expired a long time ago. But of course, he was young. I think maybe his brothers did a little fishing in the Duck River with some high explosives.
I've always wondered, did that actually work?
A lot of those ex-military guys had weapons, grenades, and stuff that they brought back from World War II. They weren't
my great uncle had brought back a bunch of
scrutinizing
pistols.
back in those days.
Yeah, he brought back a bunch of pistols he got off of German soldiers.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, that's
Luger's expensive.
Del, didn't you say when you were a federal prosecutor that there were some cases where kids had come across some old explosives or something at one point in time, and
Correct.
they actually went off?
Correct. And gosh, I don't know if there's anybody around who remembers it anymore, but in preparation for the invasion of Europe, the Army held, because our terrain here is very similar to France, the Army here had massive maneuvers and exercises prior to the invasion of Europe, and there are old pictures, I think, of over in Shelbyville and Tullahoma, maybe even Lewisburg and Columbia, tanks rolling down the middle of the road and downtown and that kind of thing. But how I got involved, the Army over on the Cumberland Plateau around Pikeville, Grootly Lager, Tracy City, up in that area, the Army leased basically hundreds of thousands of acres of land, and they used it for live artillery practice, and they just, for about a year, big old 155 howitzers, and they just shelled the hell out of that place.
My dad remembers staying with his aunt, working the summer at his aunt's house and farm in Alabama, Clayton, Alabama. He remembers German soldiers being essentially slaves. They were brought back to work.
Well, they're a part of this tale, Ron, and I'll tell you, I'll get to it. But so they just shelled the hell out of the place. And most of the land was owned by Macy of Macy's department stores. It was timberland. And so they rented it from Macy. Well, they made, when the war was over, the lease terminated and the land went back to Macy. But they did a search for unexploded ordnances. And Ron, the way they did it, was to get German prisoners and have them march, arm in arm across the ground to see if there was anything unexploded there.
That's one way to do it.
Buck Snell.
Yeah, and so, but not everything was found, and the law is that the Army is the Navy or whoever else, at least domestically, they are responsible for their unexploded ordnance in perpetuity. I mean, there have been old Civil War shells out there that have blown up and hurt people.
There was one in a college that was it was still loaded cannon that they had just placed kind of ceremonially in front of like a very large building, but it got hit with a cannonball from the opposition, so it got kind of dented. But what they found out was that it was still loaded with dry gunpowder that was inside of it.
Yeah.
And it had been ready to explode for about 100 years, facing a college.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there's been Civil War things found out there. The Army, the United States, the Navy, who are, at least domestically, they are responsible for their ordnance forever. So come along the 1990s, and this kid was out with his dad on a four-wheeler over there on that property, and believe it or not, they were on the name of the road where they were was Billy Won't Work Road. Billy Won't Work Road. And so this kid finds this shell left over from the World War II shelling and takes it home with him as a souvenir, and it laid around the house for 2 or 3 years. The testimony was they even used it to drive nails in the wall to hang pictures. Well, but then one day, this is the bad part. One day he dropped it, and it like blew his right hand off. And so they sued the Army, and the Corps of Engineers. They handle all those lawsuits and unexploded ordnance and all that kind of thing, and but they got out all those old files, and there were pictures of the German prisoners marching arm in arm doing, unexploded ordnance clearing, back from, 1946, 47, wherever in there. And another interesting thing, in the 60s, the Corps Engineers put out, postcards at, all the country stores and whatnot. Said, if you find unexploded ordnance, please, send in this postcard. Tell us about it. Postage prepaid. And the Corps of Engineers still gets reports of, people find stuff, and they have to send a team out to get it.
Well, we don't do a bang-up job with it. There's still a thermonuclear weapon off the coast of Georgia near Tybee Island that got dropped in the late 50s.
I heard about it.
And they searched for 2 months and gave up, but it is still there.
The nuclear weapon, the bottom of the sea over there, the bottom of the ocean.
So it was a bomber. The B-47 bomber just somehow crazily got hit by a fighter jet, and it was a damaged plane, and there was a very obvious, reasonable fear that landing a damaged plane with an active nuclear weapon was probably not the best idea. So they got permission to drop a nuclear bomb. If you know anything about a nuclear bomb, it has to be activated and cycled so that the neutrons, they fire and connect and explode. So he dropped it without activating it, but off the coast of Tybee Island in Georgia, and they have no idea where it is.
Yeah, the cost of war is tough. Princess Diana was doing unexploded landmines, I think, in Europe, parts of Europe, and then you got, of course, we watch all these Revolutionary War movies right now, or documentaries, and half the soldiers died of typhoid fever and different
dysentery.
Dysentery. Half the losses were from just medical disease. The cost of war is pretty high. I mean. Yeah. You got and then Agent Orange, it killed, I'm sure later on, cancer and other things down the road in Vietnam where Mr. York was. The cost of war is beyond just the body count from gunshot wounds.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I never was in the service, but by all accounts I've read of every conflict in history, the casualties from non-combat accidents, incidents, disease, whatever, usually about as much as the combat casualties.
Right. People froze to death at Valley Forge. The Civil War, same way. People just couldn't. Yeah, it's just we got many guys together moving, military equipment and it's disease. It's unbelievable with the death toll.
Miss York, when you were on that destroyer, did y'all have shells you'd shoot out there and they wouldn't explode?
I don't know. Probably, but most of the time we shot Willie Peter in the aluminum fire. So Willie Peter is not Agent Orange, but it does a lot of damage because the explosive sticks on you and catches fire. So we did a lot of Willie Peter shooting in Vietnam. South of the
is that a nickname for napalm? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's vicious stuff.
This seems like this Iran war, I'm sure the left would tell us, but it was pretty surgical. I think wars have gotten better, if I have to say that, in terms of being surgical.
That's hard to say, Ron, yeah, but...
Yeah, I know that we got that school, which used to be the IRG headquarters. That was a mistake, but there's always going to be casualties of war, fog of war. But it seems like to me that we didn't miss a lot. We didn't hit a lot of problematic things. I guess with all the intel and the radar and the sky, the satellites, I think we're a little bit better at it.
Yeah, the school thing's still disputed. We don't have anything on the ground because we're only relying mainly off of mild triangulation and the IRGC's reports of what happened. That's
our fire was directed by spotters in light planes or on the ground in Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
you would dial in coordinates, Mr. York,
or did you laser it at the time?
No laser.
No, it didn't have a laser, but I was doing the plotting for the target.
You did the math?
I never have understood how you can have a ship. Of course, you measure it, knots, ship going along 25 or 30 knots, which would be 40 miles an hour, maybe.
No, it's not going that fast, Del.
Well,
shooting from a moving ship to a location has got to be tough.
Using set and drift, you calculate set and drift, and that's put into the computer, and that makes up for the ship moving and going in different directions.
Well, what if the target is
the guys that shoot mortars in Vietnam? They would do these mortars. You show them how in the world do you know what you're hitting on the other end?
It's incredible math. If you go back to the Napoleonic Wars and then recent as the Civil War, like the standard cannon that we all know with the wheels and the thing.
Yeah, but in Vietnam, I
had the person behind it who was loading it would do math on the fly about how much gunpowder to put in it.
Good. And, I've been reading accounts of those Civil War cannons, and they call them rifles, but they're gigantic rifles, and they were extremely accurate and could be fired at long ranges with great accuracy, 15 seconds, we're out of here. Tomorrow, my cousin Reed Ridley, a playwright, a nationally known playwright, in collaboration with another nationally known playwright. They've got a radio play. Reed's going to tell us about it tomorrow.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich
Great day,
Thomas.
folks.
President Trump is in.
Some may come and some may go. He will surely pay.
Very well.
The Emir Tamim, who's a great gentleman, he said, no, I'd like to make a contribution to the country. So it was very nice. And we were able to do it in about 5 months, bring it up to the
sprawling collection of House and Senate races. Democrats considered holding a similar convention but rejected the idea